When dividing algebraic expressions, sometimes you might have to employ the power of a quotient rule. Now, a quotient is the result of division. For example, say you have 8 divided by 2, the quotient is 4. In algebra, a quotient is often written in the form of a fraction. For example, the quotient of a divided by b is a over b. Now, what the power of a quotient rule says is that when you have a quotient like a over b, inside parentheses, and a power outside the parentheses, then the power applies equally to each part of the quotient. So, for example, here we have a over b to the n. That is the same as a to the power of n over b to the power of n. But what if one or more of the terms in the quotient already has a power? So, for example, say we have a to the m over b to the m, all to the power of n. Now, according to the power of a quotient rule, the power outside the parentheses applies equally to each part of the quotient. So that means it's the same as a to the m to the power of n over b to the m to the power of n. Now we're going to apply the power of a power rule, which says that when a power is raised to a power, you multiply the powers. So a to the m to the n is going to be equal to a to the mn. And b to the m to the power of n is equal to b to the mn. Okay, so let's go out on a limb here and apply this power of a quotient rule to some actual numbers and variables. So say we have 6x to the third over 2x squared, and all of this is to the power of 3. So the first thing we're going to do is apply the power of a quotient rule, which tells us that the power outside the parentheses applies to each part of the quotient. So that gives us 6x to the third over 2x squared to the third. Now we apply the power of a power rule, which says that when a power is raised to a power, you multiply the powers. So we have 6, and since 6 has no power, you know it's to the power of 1. Just like down here, 2 is to the power of 1. So 6 to the 1 to the power of 3. We're going to multiply the powers, so that makes it 6 to the third. And x cubed to the power of 3 is going to be, we multiply the powers, x to the ninth. 2 to the power of 1, and we multiply the powers, 1 times 3, so that's 2 to the third. And x squared to the power of 3, we multiply the powers, that's 6. Okay, so now we can simplify further. 6 to the third is 6 times 6 times 6, which is 216, x to the ninth, over, and 2 to the third is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, x to the sixth. So now we are going to divide and follow the steps for dividing. So first we will divide or reduce the numbers, and in this case 8 actually goes into 216 evenly 27 times. And then we're going to divide the variables, and since the base is the same, we can do that, and we're going to subtract in order to divide. So x to the ninth minus 6 is how we do that, which leaves us x to the third. So the final result is 27x to the third.